Hello, everyone. I want to welcome you to this DubLi webcast. My name is Alan Breen. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm really excited to bring this to you. We've got a lot of really just interesting things that are happening, great things that are happening with DubLi right now. And what I want to do this morning, I want to talk about the DubLi portal. And I want you to understand, if this is the first time you've been on one of these calls with me, one of the things that you've got to understand with this is all about customer acquisition. This is not about building some business based on bringing in a bunch of distributors where, everybody has to get on an auto ship if they want to get paid, and they end up trying to sell a product that's either too expensive or people just don't know whether it's, all the hype behind it's true or not. And so what happens in those companies is you invariably build a distributor base, and nobody goes out and gets customers. And so you end up making your money off the pocketbooks of the people you sponsor into the business. And that's not what DubLi is about at all. This is all about what's in it for the consumer. There is no auto ship with DubLi. Matter of fact, the only monthly payment that we have to make is not commissionable at all. Now, that's one of the things that I absolutely love about DubLi, is the fact that this is all about customer acquisition, and it's really just about the extraordinary value that DubLi can present to the average consumer. And so we'll talk about that. I'll establish the real value to the consumer as we go through this presentation this morning. And I'll talk briefly about the board of directors. I'm going to let you do your own due diligence on that, but I'll tell you where to do it. And then we'll talk about what's in it for us, because I'm assuming that everybody's on this call this morning because you want to think about, or at least consider, engaging a business with DubLi. So we'll go through all of that. And then we'll probably take about a 5-minute break after I've done this, and of course I'll show you how to sign up and what you need to do with all of that. But then we'll take about a 5-minute break, and I'm going to go through a training, and we've got something, for those of you that are new on the call, we've got something we call the TLA package, and it stands for Team Leader Accelerated Package. And I want to talk about that because really that's the only way to do this. Now, if somebody can't afford to do it, well, I understand that, and you have to do what's within your your means. You can't put yourself in economic peril, if you will, or you shouldn't risk your finances for DubLi. But if you can afford to do the TLA package, we'll talk about the significance of it, because it allows you to do something immediately in terms of talking to nonprofits. And guys, because this is all about customer acquisition, one of the things that you really want to recognize is that if you can go to local high schools, if you can go to private high schools, if you can go to local churches, if you can go to nonprofits that are in your area, your region, particularly if you know somebody in that organization and you've got a good relationship with them, that is absolutely the best way. Without question, hands down, that is the best way to build this business. So I'm going to focus on that this morning. But the first thing I want to do is I really want to establish the fact that, in my opinion, DubLi now has the strongest product that's ever been offered to the average consumer. I've never seen anything like it. Matter of fact, let me give you an idea of the significance of this. I was talking to a good friend of mine, and most of you have heard me talk about Jerry Thomas. He's up in Cartersville, Georgia, and Jerry was at a meeting yesterday up in Cartersville. I forget what meeting it was, but one of the guys he was talking to that he'd known for a while, he knew the guy worked for Home Depot, but he had no idea what he did. Well, this guy's the vice president of the Southeast region for all of Home Depot. He's plugged in. This guy's pretty high up in Home Depot. And so they started talking about it. Well, Jerry told him that this week we've got a weekly deal with Home Depot where our consumers, if they're a VIP customer, can get 9% cash back on anything they buy at Home Depot. And Jerry said the guy's mouth about fell on the floor. He said, "Jerry, here's my card. You need to call me. We need to sit down and have a cup of coffee about this." He said, "Listen, Home Depot is very price sensitive. We're very competitive with our pricing because we have to be." He said, "I can't believe that y'all give 9% cash back on anything you buy at Home Depot." He said, "That just really astonishes me." And the reason I'm bringing this up is I want you to understand that if you look at the mall and you look at the cash back, if you've never seen a cashback mall or the cashback offerings, you might not have any frame of reference. And I want you to understand that what we do with DubLi, the offerings that we get for our average consumers, especially for the VIP customers, is really pretty phenomenal. A consumer today cannot go anywhere, online or offline, and match the value that DubLi presents to them. Now, because of all of this, one of the things that's going to happen is we'll shatter all the income records at DubLi. Now, what do I mean by this? Well, if we look at the direct selling industry as a whole, and if you take the network marketing companies, if you take the direct sales company, if you take the Tupperware companies and all the different direct selling companies that are all members of the DSA, that's the Direct Selling Association. And if you go to their website, and that's a worldwide organization, but if you go to their website, a couple things you'll find out. Now, you'll have to dig to get this information. But if you look at the average income for the average distributor worldwide with all of these companies, and there's millions of them, the average distributor today makes less than $250 per year. Now, these are people that have joined a company to do it as a business, to try to earn money. And the average income for everybody worldwide is less than $250 a year. Now, we all hear the stories about people making, $600,000 a month or maybe $150,000 a month. And you have some people that are making over $1 million a month. But those are just the exceptions. Those are not the rule. And here's what I'm telling you is going to happen. The typical network marketer is not going to do well at DubLi because those guys or those gals don't understand going out and getting customers. They're used to bringing hordes of people who will follow them like sheep from one organization to another. And, if I'm offending somebody, I'm sorry. I don't care. I hate to see people do that. I've only been with one other company in my life in this industry, and that was a company called Nu Skin Enterprises. And Nu Skin is a great company. They're going through a pretty good resurgence right now, but the bottom line is I was in the wrong place at the wrong time with Nu Skin. I missed their hyper growth. DubLi hasn't experienced their hyper growth yet. It'll happen sometime within the next 6 to 12 months. I can promise you that. But what I mean by the fact that we'll break all the income records is that if we look at all the companies out there, according to some of the sites out there, I think Organic Gold has the distributor who makes the most per month, and it's about $1.2 million per month. And then you have one couple in Asia with Nu Skin that makes over $1 million a month, and I don't believe there's anybody else that's averaging over $1 million a month. Now, there are other people who've made $1 million a month for 1 or 2 months, but that's about it. Well, what you'll see at DubLi over the next 4 or 5 years, because this is all about numbers. That's all it is. You will see people, and I mean you will see hundreds and possibly thousands. I don't know if it'll be thousands, but it'll certainly be hundreds of people who will show up within the next 6 months that will earn well over $1 million a month. Not because they're so smart or not because they're so great or any of that nonsense. It's because they understand what's going on with this. They have a knack, or they have the ability to go out and grab a lot of customers. And that's the name of this game here, is the more customers you bring into the game, if you will, the more money you're going to make. And of course, because it's all about customer acquisition, because the value to the consumer is so exceptional, I mean, you cannot match this anywhere. Because of that, when you retire from this, and let's say that you want to make $10,000 a month, that's your goal, or maybe it's $1,000 a month. I don't care what your goal is with this. Once you get there, if you decide, okay, I've reached my goal, my monthly income, I'm going to go ahead and retire, your income will not start to diminish as soon as you retire. With all other companies, it will. But with DubLi, what happens, because the value is so exceptional to the consumer, they're not going to stop using the site, the portal. And not only will they not stop using the site or the portal, they will not stop telling their friends about it. And DubLi pays them very handsomely to tell their friends about it. So it's going to be very interesting. Now, one other thing that I do want to kind of put in the back of your mind before I go any further with this, I was talking to a gal the other day, and I made a comment to her that really kind of caught her attention. Now, with DubLi, there's 6 ranks, and most people start at the lowest rank, which is called a team member. And then the next rank you'd go from team member to team leader. Then you would go from team leader to team coordinator, from team coordinator to sales director, from sales director to vice president, from vice president to senior vice president. And senior vice president is the top rank. The team member is the bottom rank. And I was talking to her and I said, you know, we'll have hundreds, maybe thousands of people that over the next 4 or 5 years who will come into the business, will never advance past the rank of team member because they don't really want to build an organization of distributors. They don't want the responsibility to try to, you know, lead people and encourage people, whatever. Maybe they don't have time for it, whatever the case may be, but they'll never progress past the rank of team member. And you will see hundreds, probably thousands of those people doing that will earn more money than 70% of the senior vice presidents. Well, her mouth about fell to the floor. She was saying, wait, you got to, what did you just say? I want to make sure I understood that. I've never heard anybody say anything like this before. Well, what you need to understand is you'll have people that will get to the senior vice presidential rank. And it takes a lot of people to get there, to build an organization that size. And the typical network marketer, they can get people to follow them if they've done well at other companies. And so they'll be able to reach that rank. But they're not going to teach people to go out and get customers because that's not what they're accustomed to doing. They're accustomed to making their money off of the distributors who have to be on auto ship if they want to get a check from the company. Well, if that's what you have in mind, if that's what you think is going to work here, you're sadly mistaken. This is a true business with an income that's really tied specifically to the customer, to the value that we present to the consumer. Now, if we look at the DubLi portal, there's 4 components to it. There's a travel portal, there's a shopping portal, there's an entertainment portal, and there's a media center where the consumers can go and they can get free email, they get free cloud storage, and a bunch of other things. And, you know, with the internet today, consumers expect certain things for free. Well, we've got all this for them just to kind of tie them to the site. But what happens, and this is what's so significant about it, and you've got to understand this if you really understand the value of DubLi. We're not asking the consumers to change their buying habits in any way, shape, or form. As a matter of fact, what we're saying to the consumer is this. You buy all the same products that you're buying today, all the brand name products that you're accustomed to buying today. Keep buying those same brand name products. Keep buying them from the same brand name merchants you've always bought them from. Book your flights through DubLi. Book your hotels with your favorite hotels. Book your car rentals with your favorite car rental agencies. Watch your favorite movies through Netflix. Stream your favorite satellite radio stations from SiriusXM Radio. In other words, do all the same things that you're doing today with the same merchants, but if you just go through DubLi, we'll pay you to do what you were going to do anyway. Now, guys, to me, that is the perfect product because the reality is we don't have a product. We're just giving the consumer the ability to do what they're going to do anyway and get paid for it. And I just don't know anybody that has any common sense that's going to turn that down. Now, when they come to the DubLi portal, they can go in, they can get paid to travel. Now, we just launched our DubLi portal, the travel portal, February the 11th. And it's absolutely amazing what we've already been able to accomplish. When they go into the shopping mall at DubLi, which is the largest cashback mall in the world, it's got well over 2,600 merchants now with over 56 million products. That's the North American cashback mall. Now, in less than 30 days, we're going to open India. India's going to have over 8,400 merchants. Now, I don't know how many millions of customers it's going to merchants it's going to represent, and I don't really care. I'm sorry, I don't know how many products it's going to represent. Will it be more than 56 million? I don't know. Probably so. I mean, you've got 3 times as many stores in there, but the bottom line is that's what we're doing with this. We're paying the consumers to buy all the same things they're going to buy anyway. We're paying them to do all the same travel with the same companies. And most people today, if you get into a group of people and start talking to them, if they travel at all, they're all using Priceline. They're all using Travelocity, Expedia, Orbitz, Cheapo Air, Hotels.com. They're using all of those online travel companies. Well, they can still do that. But if they just go through DubLi, they're going to get paid to do it. And then DubLi sets up all these coupons and all these great deals, these weekly deals. Like, for example, the weekly deal right now is 9% cash back at Home Depot. That's what made the general manager for the Southeast just almost fall on the floor. He couldn't believe it. Now, here's the deal last week. It was 11% cash back at Nordstrom's. I love Nordstrom's. I love their shirts. That was a great deal for me. Now, one of the things that I tell people all the time, I say, look, if you're going to start a business like this with a company that's in the direct sales industry, the worst thing you can do is get involved with a company that's less than 5 years old. And they kind of look at me, but you always want to be at the beginning, don't you? And I said, well, if you're willing to take that risk, sure. It's always best to be at the beginning, but you've got a 95% chance that that company's going to go out of business before 5 years are up, and you've wasted all your time and energy. And then you got to go find another home. And if you get with another company and you get at the very beginning of that, you take the same risk again. DubLi's a 10-year-old company, started in June of 2003 over in Berlin, Germany, and we now have a regional office in Dubai. We've got a world corporate headquarters, which is now down in Boca Raton, Florida. Now, here's the board of directors. Guys, you know, we all need to act like grown-ups here. And we need to put our big boy pants on, our grown-up clothes on, if you will. And we need to do our due diligence. If you're going to just jump into something willy-nilly, then that's really not a very smart attitude. It's not the way to do a business. I mean, if you were going to buy a franchise, what would you do? You'd probably go to some convention where they had all the different franchises you could look at, and you might spend 3 or 4 days walking through that convention center to figure out which franchise best suited your region of the area, which best suited your personality and maybe the sales force or the population that you have in your area. And then you'd go off to school for at least 10 days because they're going to teach you the ABCs of how to do the business. And you're going to spend a lot of time and effort researching the company. Then you're going to spend anywhere from $200,000 to maybe $2 million for a franchise, and you would take it serious. This is bigger than all of that, much bigger. And you need to take it serious. You need to look at this, and you need to understand it. You need to study it. You need to look at the people behind this company, because this is going to be a $100 billion company within the next 4 or 5 years. I have no doubt of that. Now, I'm not going to go through these gentlemen. Here's the CEO and founder of DubLi, and the president of DubLi, Michael Hansen. The only person I'm going to mention on this list or talk about at all is Blas Maros. I just want you to understand the caliber of people running this company. Now, Blas Maros was one of the first 1,500 employees hired at Microsoft. He was with them for 15 years. He was, you know, he happened to be in the right place at the right time, and he'll be more than happy to tell you that. Well, when Blas retired from Microsoft, he was the number 5 man at Microsoft. He retired a multi-billionaire. I don't know what he's worth today. It really doesn't matter. But I do know this. Blas Maros spent his career building his reputation with Microsoft. He built his fortune with Microsoft. Now, since he's retired, he's gotten into a lot of venture capital deals, and he's made a lot of money with that. But Blas doesn't need to do this. He doesn't need any more money. For crying out loud, he can't spend what he's got. And I asked him that very question, and he kind of laughed at me. He said, yeah, Alan, you're right. He said, you know, I just happened to be in the right place at the right time, and Microsoft took me on a ride of my lifetime. He said, Alan, I had no earthly idea I was going to make the kind of money I did when I went to work for Microsoft. I just, like I said, Alan, I just happened to be in the right place at the right time. He said, Alan, what I would encourage you to do is to recognize that DubLi, in my opinion, is the next game changer. And I would put my blinders on, I'd put my head down, and I would work as hard as I could for the next 3 years, because you'll be able to make more money than I ever made at Microsoft. Now think about what he just said. But go do your due diligence. Go to DubLi-Inc.com. Read up on these gentlemen and understand who they are, the significance. I mean, they could be on the board of directors of any Fortune 100 company in the U.S. Here's the management team. I'm not going to talk about these guys. Do your due diligence. When we first launched the travel portal in February, it was powered by Priceline. Well, now it's powered by Expedia, Priceline, Orbitz, Travelocity, eBookers. I don't know if y'all are aware of this, but the online travel industry is a $6.3 trillion market worldwide. Now, I had somebody contact me yesterday, as a matter of fact. They wanted me to look at some company, and I'm not going to say the name of it. They wanted me to look at some company that just did these trips. And I just laughed. I mean, why would I want to look at a company that does nothing but trips, vacations? I want to sell to the everyday traveler. I want to sell, you know, I was talking to a couple of guys in Arizona 2 days ago. It's really funny. All of a sudden my phone's just started to ring off the hook because people are starting to wake up with what's going on. But they want to make sure that they really understand this. And I had 2 guys from Arizona call me up, and they said, Alan, we just don't want anything to do with a typical network marketing company, and we were going to set up 15 different websites, and we were going to market 15 different products. And you can do any kind of affiliate marketing on the internet you want to. And so we talked about it a little bit, and I said, well, look, guys, you can go do that. Nothing wrong with that. If you want to set the sites up, get somebody to design the websites for you, get somebody to do the SEO and whatnot, but you're selling into a market that's represented by 15 products. What's the size of the total market? If you just look at the travel portal at DubLi, it's $6.3 trillion. We're participating in over 70% of that market on a global basis already. Now, I don't know if y'all know this or you're aware of this. Priceline has 3,000 partners worldwide. Now, anybody can be an affiliate with Priceline, and they'll get a small commission. But to be a partner, you've got to really show some finesse with Priceline. You've got to show some strength in the marketplace. Well, DubLi, we were able to get their highest rates right out of the gate. And I asked Eric Nelson, who's the Chief Financial Officer at DubLi, I said, Eric, how in the world did we get these rates right out of the gate? He said, well, Bicky Carla just is such a good smoozer. Now, Bicky Carla is in charge of the travel portal at DubLi. He went to Priceline, he went to Travelocity, Expedia, eBookers, and Orbitz, and he convinced them that DubLi was, in fact, the next game changer. And so every one of them gave us their highest rates they give any company, and these are companies that have been with them for quite a while. Well, what's interesting about it, after about 4.5 months, the president of Priceline picked up the phone and called Michael Hansen, the CEO and founder of DubLi. He said, Michael, I don't know what you guys are doing, but y'all are now the number eight company worldwide in terms of bringing us customers. What are you guys doing? And Michael was telling Eric Nelson, and Eric was relaying the story to me. He said, Eric, it's all I could do not to laugh because the guy just doesn't understand what's about to happen to him. Meaning DubLi is just going to swamp them with customers because we have the ability now to reach out and touch anybody on a global basis and start referring customers to Priceline. And we're already the number 8 company after 4.5 months. I have no doubt that by the end of this year, we'll be the number 1 company in terms of the customers that we're bringing to Priceline. That's the significance of the offering to the consumer. I was talking to a group of people the other day, and I've got another group of people I'm going to go address on Monday. They do a lot of traveling. And I said, look, guys, it's really simple. You can go to Priceline. And I asked the question, I said, how many of you in this room, how many of you use Priceline to do your travel? And probably 85% of the room raised their hands. I said, how many of you use Travelocity? And a few more hands went up. And I said, well, how many of you just use an online travel agency like Travelocity or Expedia to do your travel? The whole room raised their hand. And I said, well, here's the deal. You can go to Priceline directly, and you can go get a room, and you're going to get a great rate through Priceline. You get your flights through Priceline. You can get your car rentals through Priceline. But the difference is this. If you go through DubLi and then go to Priceline through DubLi, not only will you get the same great rate as if you went directly to Priceline or Travelocity or any of them, but DubLi's going to pay you as much as 14% cash back on your hotel rooms. Well, you can see everybody turning their head, kind of looking at the people next to them, start to whisper like, what did he just say? I said, that's right, guys. And I said, I just did a hotel. I had to go down to Boca to take some guys down to Boca to meet with Eric Nelson, Chief Financial Officer at DubLi. And we stayed at the Marriott, and so I got a room there. I went through Priceline, got the room. Now, normally that was going to be a $220 per night room, but I got a $169 rate through Priceline. But because I went through DubLi on the way down there on my cell phone to do this, that's how easy this is. I got the great rate of $169 plus I got 14% cash back on the room. I got $23.66 cash back on that room. Now, I only had to stay one night, but if I'd stayed another night, I'd have got another $23.66 cash back. Now, I don't know about you, but anybody that wouldn't want to take that deal, they'd have to be crazy. So you can get 14% cash back on your hotel rooms. And if we just look at the car rentals, you're going to get up to 13% cash back on all your car rentals if you go through DubLi and then go to Priceline or Expedia or Travelocity. And you can still rent your cars from Avis, Hertz, Enterprise, Alamo. It doesn't matter. DubLi gives you the ability to get the same great rates you would as if you went directly to Priceline or Travelocity or Expedia. But because you're going through DubLi, you're going to get the same great rate from those companies, but you're also going to get cash back. Now, here's the cash back that we pay on our travel portal. And you can see there's 3 different customers with DubLi. There's a a free customer, and that means they really can join for free. They do not have to give up any credit card information. They don't have to give up a phone number. They don't have to give up a street address. All they have to do is give them a username and an email address, and they become a free customer. And they can get cash back on everything they do. Now, they can get $3 back on their flights, which doesn't sound like much, but you got to remember something. Travel agents today, they don't make any money at all. No commissions whatsoever on domestic flights, only on international flights. We're getting $3 more than they get. If you're a free customer at DubLi, you get 8% cash back on your hotels, 4% cash back on your cars, and 2% cash back on your vacation packages. If you're a premium member, now a premium member is going to spend $4.95 a month to be a premium member. And you can see they get, instead of 8% on the hotels, they get 12%, 8% on the cars, and 6% on the vacation packages. But look at the VIP member. Now, the VIP member is an annual membership, meaning, you pay it once a year, and it's $99 a year. You get $3 on your flights. Remember, the agents don't get anything. 14% cash back on your hotels, 13% cash back on your cars, and 11% cash back on your vacation packages. Now, Jerry Thomas owns a bunch of real estate up in Cartersville, Georgia. And Jerry has a travel agent that's in one of his strip malls that he owns up there. He went in right after we launched this, sat down with her, and just went through this to see what kind of money she was making, what kind of commissions she was making as a travel agent. She looked at this. She said, Jerry, I can't believe this. We don't get but 10% commission on the hotels when we book them for our consumers. We don't get anything on the flights. We only get 8% on the car rentals, and we only get 6% on the vacation packages. Can I be a VIP customer? That was the next words out of her mouth. Can I be a VIP customer and run my business out of this? And she was in the process of hiring a lot of people because, all of these baby boomers, they're starting to retire. They're not comfortable with doing stuff online all the time, so they still would rather go to a travel agent. Her business is booming, but she's not making anywhere near this kind of commission and she's a professional in the industry. That's the significance of what we're giving to the consumers, and you need to understand how powerful this really is. So when they come to the DubLi portal, they can get paid to travel. They can go into the mall and get paid to shop. You go into the mall, you can see we've got the best deals. We've got all the stores listed. You've got the coupons. And remember, we've got well over 2,600 merchants in the mall. And you can go in here and just look at them. And here's a perfect example. Here's One Stop Florist. And you can see that the free customer gets 7.8% cash back. The premium gets 11.8%, and the VIP gets 13.8% cash back. And I'll go through the differences in those in just a few minutes. But let me show you what happens to the average consumer. Now, this is a VIP customer. This is a guy named Doug Hall, who's on my front line, who also happens to be a BA with DubLi. He's a sales director. But look at this. Look at these data purchases here. This represents from May the 4th to May the 11th. That's 8 days. 8 days of Doug's life. Now, Doug, on this chart right here, this is his back office at DubLi.com. Every customer gets one of these, so you can track all the places you go, the order history, the ID number of the order, what you paid for it, the regular cash back. Now, this represents the free cash back that a free customer would receive. Everybody gets free cash back. If you're a free customer, premium customer, and a VIP customer, you all get the exact same amount of free cash back. This is paid directly to you by the merchant. And you can see that he got $3 on his flight. You can see that he got $15.58 on his hotel and $1.95 on his car, which doesn't sound like much, but you keep doing this over and over, and it adds up really fast. So here's the deal. You add this column up for the free cash back, that's $35.39. And he went to Best Buy, he went to 1-800-Flowers, Home Depot. They're renovating their house out in Palm Springs, California. He went on a trip. He was doing all the things that he was going to do anyway, but you can see right here he got $35.39 cash back just because he went through DubLi. And again, this is what the free customer will receive. But because Doug is also a VIP customer, he gets, in addition to the free cash back, he gets another 6% cash back. That's what this column represents. Add it up, there's another $50.80. Put them together, Doug, in 8 days, got back $86.19 cash back. Now, this is real money. This is not a discount towards a future purchase or some kind of coupon. This is real money. It's cash. He can do with it whatever he wants to. He did this in 8 days. Now, you got to remember something. In order to be a VIP member, it's an annual membership of $99. So in 8 days, Doug pretty much paid for 90% of his membership fee in 8 days. If Doug did this every week for the rest of the year, he would get back $4,481.88. If he did this just half of the year, he's going to get it back about $2,300 on a membership that cost him $99. Now, y'all just put your common sense cap on for just a minute and ask the question, who in their right mind would not want to do this? If they really understood it, if they realized that they could pay $99 a year, do all the same things they were going to do anyway with all the same merchants, all the same travel agencies, etc., do everything that they were going to do anyway and get back as much as $400, who in their right mind wouldn't want to do that? And for the life of me, I can't figure out who wouldn't want to do that. I mean, you'd be crazy not to. Now, this is something that happened to me last year, and I love to use this example because I want you to understand the power of this. My son came to me about 3 or 4 weeks before Christmas, and he said, "Dad, I'd really like to have one of those teeter hang-ups for Christmas." And he just graduated from college, and I said, "Okay, that's great. Let me look into it and see what they cost and where I can get one." Well, about 2 days later, we got this weekly deal from DubLi, where DubLi had gone to QVC and negotiated a better deal for us. And if you were a free customer at DubLi, you'd get 10% cash back for that week and that week only on anything you bought at QVC as long as you went through DubLi to get there. And, of course, we're talking about buying it online, guys, okay? One of the things I do want to make sure everybody understands, when I was talking about the travel agent, she wanted to be a VIP customer. What I failed to say was she can't be a VIP customer. This site is set up for the individual. We're not set up to cater to businesses. Now, a business can be a free customer if they want to, and they can buy their office supplies through the portal and get cash back on that. They can do their travel through that if they want to. But if the individual agents within that company, let's say you got a traveling salespeople, they can do a VIP account and they can get the full VIP account back because they're doing it for themselves. But a business, the DubLi portal is not set up for businesses. It's set up for the individual. So a business cannot be a VIP customer. An individual within the business can, however. Well, anyway, back to my example here. DubLi went in and negotiated a deal so that if I was only a free customer at DubLi, I could get 10% cash back on anything I bought at QVC the whole week. But now that's a great deal. But because I was a VIP customer last year, I was getting 7% cash back on top of or in addition to the 10%. I was going to get 17% cash back if I went through QVC to buy my teeter hang-up. Now, I didn't know if QVC carried the teeter hang-up or not, so I went and looked, and sure enough, they had it. And they had it listed for $399.99. Well, I'd never looked at the cost of one, so I didn't know whether that was a good price, bad price, or what the deal was. So I decided that I was going to go to Walmart, I was going to go to Best Buy, and of course I was going to go to Teeter Hang-Up because they make it. Well, I went to all 3 companies. They all had it. I was really kind of surprised that Best Buy had it, but they had it only on their online store. But everybody, including Walmart, had it listed for $399.99. Well, naturally, I went back to QVC. Now, Walmart, Best Buy, Teeter Hang-Up, they're all inside the DubLi Mall, but we didn't have a weekly special with them, and we would only get about 8% cash back from those stores. So I decided to go back to QVC. I mean, it made sense to me. I bought the QVC, the Teeter Hang-Up, excuse me. I got $68 cash back. Now think about that. Where'd that money come from? QVC paid me to shop at their store. Now, had I gone directly to QVC and not, if I had not been a customer at DubLi, had I not gone through DubLi, but I'd gone directly to QVC to buy that teeter hang-up, I would have paid the full price of $399.99, and I wouldn't have gotten any cash back. I'd have left that money on the table, and QVC would have it, not me. This is a no-brainer. Now, what's funny about this slide to me is this. Before DubLi came along, whenever I bought something online, I did just like all of you do. I went to Amazon. Well, I forgot to go to Amazon. And that's what's funny to me because I used to always go to Amazon. Well, I don't go to Amazon anymore except for little special items that I know I'm going to get a great price on at Amazon. And hey, listen, I love Amazon. Amazon's not in our mall. They used to be, but we threw them out. I'm dead serious about that. They didn't leave. We kicked them out because they were not doing what they agreed to do. They were not paying the affiliate fees that they agreed to pay. So, and I was one of the guys that reported them for it. They threw them out of the mall. And I have no doubt that Amazon's going to come back. But Amazon is the 800-pound gorilla out there, and they don't feel like they have to do what, what they're supposed to. Well, anyway, I decided that after I'd made the purchase, now this is 2 weeks after Christmas, I said, let's go see what Amazon's got on it. And look, same price, $399.99. Now, that made me realize this is a great deal. And I don't know anybody. Now, remember, my annual membership's only $99. And guys, I bought everything for the first time in my life. Everything that I bought on for Christmas for all my family, I bought it all online. 95% of it I got through DubLi. I got over $800 cash back. Now, think about this. I got $800 cash back. In other words, this is money that the merchants paid me for stuff I was going to buy anyway. But because I was a VIP customer at DubLi, I got over $800 cash back for everything that I bought over Christmas. That pays my annual membership for 8 years. That is a fabulous deal for me. And every time I use it now, it's just gravy. Now, one of the things that I tell people all the time, and I love to say this because it's really true, I say, you know, the real strength of DubLi is this. We're not asking the consumers to change their buying habits in any way, shape, or form. Now, that's 99.9% true because there is something they have to do just a little bit different. And right now, here's what a customer has to do. They've got to go to their DubLi.com account. They've got to log in. They've got to go to the DubLi Mall. And then from there, they launch the merchant thereafter, whether it's Apple or Nordstrom's or Home Depot, Walmart, Target, Macy's. It doesn't really matter. They launch that particular merchant from the mall. They go directly to that merchant's website. That allows the cookies to follow the customer to that site, and that's how we get the cash back. So you do have to do a little bit of difference, but it takes about 35 seconds. But, you know, who wouldn't want to spend 35 seconds to make $68? Who wouldn't want to spend 35 seconds on every one of their stores if they could get $800 cash back on stuff they were going to buy anyway? I mean, really, I don't know anybody that wouldn't want to do that. Well, starting next month, now there's been a little bit of delay on this because they're talking to some of the merchants to make sure they get this installed correctly on their stores and whatnot. But here's what's going to happen. DubLi has been developing this app for over 1.5 years now. And once you become a DubLi customer, you can go download it for free. And you can put it on your laptop, your desktop, your smartphone, you know, whatever device you use to connect to the internet. And then you're going to do everything exactly the same as you do today. Most people today, when they look for a product, they go to Google. I do it all the time. When I buy something in the DubLi Mall, I go to Google first because I want to see who's got the best price. Then I go into DubLi and I buy it from there. I find the merchant that I found on Google. This happens to be Google over in Germany. And you can see that this on this example they were showing, they were looking for something at a company called Zalando. So this person, here's what they did. They went to google.com, or in this case, .de. They went to Zalando, and you can see this little thing says, it's got a little green D, and it says up to 12%, and it's talking about 12% cash back. Zalando Lounge down here has up to 14% cash back. But typically what a consumer does is they go to Google, they find the product, they click on the link to take them to Zalando's, and that's exactly what they do here. They go directly to Zalando, but here's what the browser app does in the background. It puts up this little row right here, and you can see where it says get up to 9.8% cash back. And you can see over here it tells you, if you hover over this green D, it'll tell you that Zalando's got it at 9.8% cash back, Bloom has it at 7.8% cash back, and Newegg has it for 7.4% cash back on this particular product. Well, the only thing that a consumer has to do that's different is one little thing. It takes them less than a second to do it. They've got to click on this little blue button that says Activate Cashback. Once they do that, the cashback's active. They go in right in here to Zalando. This is where they came to Zalando from Google, and they buy whatever it is they're going to buy. End of story. Now, when I was showing this to the Red Cross, and some of you that are new on the call, I haven't mentioned this yet, but I closed the Red Cross about, I guess about a month ago now, or maybe 5 weeks ago. I know it's probably only a month. But now I knew somebody really well at Home Depot. I'm sorry, at the Red Cross, and I've been working with them for about 3.5 years. Well, here's what happened. When I showed it to the gal at Red Cross, this was on a Friday afternoon, and I finished the presentation to her. She said, "Alan, you send me the papers on Monday. Send me the contract on Monday. I want to get on this right now." She said, "I've never seen anything like this." And she said it with just that much fervor in her, or fervor in her voice. I mean, I felt like she was coming through the phone at me. And when we got to this slide right here, and I was talking about this, she said, "Alan, you'd have to be stupid to turn that off." And I said, "Well, I have to agree with you." She said, "I have never seen anything like this. Get me the contracts on Monday. Let's get going right now." So we're working on this. We're working with them to do some marketing campaigns and whatnot, and it's going to be really exciting. But she realized that this would be the biggest fundraiser that the Red Cross has ever done, because what's happening is we're not asking the consumers to change their buying habits. We're not asking them to buy products that they're not already buying, and we're not asking them to buy them from different merchants. We're saying, look, you go through the DubLi Mall, which is, and of course the Red Cross has a co-branded site now with DubLi. And if you go through the co-branded site with the Red Cross and you sign up as a VIP customer or a free customer or a premium customer, that customer is going to get all the cash back that's relevant to all of those different memberships. And the Red Cross is going to receive a 30% commission on all of the free cash back that the customers get. Now remember, everybody gets the free cash back. The free customer gets only the free cash back. The premium customer gets the free cash back plus an extra 4% on top of that. And the VIP customer gets the free cash back plus an extra 6% cash back on top of, or in addition to, the free cash back. So all three customers get the free cash back. That's the part of the cash back that the Red Cross gets the 30% commission on. All nonprofits, all partner programs get that. Now, you can be a for-profit company or a nonprofit company, but if you're a for-profit company and you want to do the partner program, which we're going to talk about just a little bit, you have to pay for it. It's $7,000 to join, and it's $500 a month. So you got to be a pretty good-sized company in order to justify spending that kind of money. If you're a high school, if you're a church, if you're any kind of nonprofit, it is totally free to you. Now, the organization I'm going to go talk to on Monday, they just couldn't believe it was free. I said, "Yep, doesn't cost you." She kept drilling me. She said, "Now, you mean I don't have to pay this?" And I said, "No, it's free to you. You're a nonprofit." That's the significance of this to the company, because all of their members that have an affinity for, whether it's a high school or some type of women's group or whatever the case may be, those members have an affinity towards that organization. If they just go through that co-branded site with that organization and join DubLi as a customer, they're going to get all the same benefits as if they went directly to DubLi and did it anyway. But because they're going through that organization, because they have an affinity for that organization, they're going to do it. And that organization is going to receive a 30% commission on every transaction they do in the DubLi portal. Now, we just did a deal with Netflix. And yes, we are literally going to pay our consumers to watch their favorite movies on Netflix. Now, this, and I want to make sure everybody gets this, this is real money. This is cash that you can do with whatever you want to. And what happens is you get this back office, if you will, at DubLi.com, and every customer gets this for free. And you can keep track of all your purchases, all the cash back that's due you. And then what happens is, you can see right here it says Cash Organizer. You can just click on that, and if you've got cash in here, here's an example of somebody's back office. You can just send that cash, that money, and you can send it. And remember, it's real money, okay? But you can send it to your free MasterCard debit card. Or if you want to, you can send it directly to your bank. I think it costs you $2 to wire it to your bank. But here's what's so exciting about DubLi. Now watch this. Somebody was asking me what a co-branded site was. So let me go ahead and clarify that real quick. And Michael, thank you for that. What a co-branded site is, you know what, rather than tell you what it is, let me just show you what it is. Let's do this. Y'all bear with me here just a second. Now, as I mentioned, I closed the Red Cross about a month ago. And here's the Red Cross's website right here. This is a co-branded website, and you can see the only co-branding they do is right there. There's the American Red Cross. And so anybody that comes to the American Red Cross's main website, and they have one website for the entire country, they've got about 900 chapters. And what we're doing, just so y'all know this, is we're doing a test with a chapter on the East Coast. If that works well, then we'll take it nationwide. And this could mean a huge amount of money. I mean, this probably be another 40 or 50 million dollars a year to the Red Cross if they just do moderately well with it. If they do incredibly well with it, who knows what it's going to take. But we just don't know how well it's going to translate to their donors yet until we actually get out there and do it. But they're testing it right now. But this is what a co-branded site looks like. And so if it was your high school, your local high school, they would have their logo right here. If it was your local church, it might have its logo right here. Any nonprofit will get this for free. And the customers come in here, they go to the DubLi Mall, they go to the travel portal, they go to the entertainment portal. Any transactions that they do inside of the DubLi portal, where there's a co-branded site or DubLi's, well, if it's a co-branded site, that organization is going to receive a 30% commission on all the free cashback. And let me do this one more time. If we go to the DubLi Mall, let's go to 1-800-Flowers, for example. You can see that the free customer gets 11.7% cash back. The premium customer is going to get 15.7% cash back. The VIP customer is going to get 17.7% cash back. Now, the free, everybody gets that, 11.7 across the board. And remember, the premium gets an extra 4%, so 11 plus 4 is 15.7. The VIP gets an extra 6%, so 11.7 plus 6 is 17.7. But the organization, if these are your personal customers, you're just like the organization, except the organization would receive a 30% commission on the 11.7% cash back that all three customers get. If it was me, or if it was one of your personal customers, you would get a 25% commission on all the free cash back. Now, you can see that the free cash back goes anywhere from 2.6 to 11.7. Here's 3%. Here's 39%. The lowest cash back for the free customer is 0.5% cash back, or excuse me, 0.7% cash back at Best Buy. That's the lowest paid. The highest is 75% cash back. If you're in the market for a new husband or a new wife and you want to go to Match.com or eHarmony, they'll give you, if you're a free customer at DubLi, they're going to give you 75% cash back on your membership. Now, if you want to go to Match.com or eHarmony.com directly and give up that 75%, knock yourself out. But I just don't know anybody that's going to do that. That's the beauty of this. So that's what a co-branded site is. That's the only difference right there. Now, as time goes on, they might decide to do a little more co-branding on this. I don't know, but right now that's what they're doing. Now, DubLi also helps the organization market to their customers, to their donors, their members, their parents, whatever they happen to be. So there's a lot of help here that DubLi provides to the organization to help them really make some significant money with this. So what happens on the DubLi MasterCard, on the cashback, whether it's free, premium, or the VIP cashback, what happens, the money builds up in the cash organizer. Well, you can take that money, if you're a customer, you can take that money, and like I said, you can either wire it to your bank or you can put it on your free MasterCard debit card. Now, here's where this really gets exciting for the consumers. And trust me, when the consumers figure this out, this thing will explode around the world. I mean, it will take off like wildfire. And here's why. Now, think about what happened to me at Christmas. I got $800 cash back on stuff that I was going to buy anyway, right? I bought it from all the same merchants. I probably wouldn't have bought it from QVC, but I had to. I got so much money back. But nonetheless, the money goes onto your DubLi MasterCard. Let's say that I had $800 of free cash sitting in my DubLi MasterCard. And let's say that I'm just a customer. I don't know anything about the business opportunity behind this. So I take the $800, I move it to my free MasterCard debit card with DubLi. Then I go back into the mall, and let's say I want to get an iMac. I'm sorry. Let's say I want to get a new iPad from Apple. And let's say it's $800. Well, I can go to Apple. I'm going to get 7% cash back at Apple 365 days a year if I'm a VIP customer at DubLi. If I'm not, I don't get any discount at Apple whatsoever because Apple sells their products at a premium. But because I'm a VIP customer, I get 7% cash back on anything at Apple. And let's say that iPad is $800. Well, I can use the free cash The free $800 that the merchants paid me for buying all the stuff I bought at Christmas, I can use that to pay for the iPad. And because I'm going through the DubLi Mall and buying that $800 iPad, even though I'm using the free cash back I got to pay for it, Apple's still going to give me another 7% cash back on top of the free $800 I'm using to pay for the iPad. Now that's called double dipping. But it gets even better. Here's what the really sophisticated customers are going to do. And this is going to cause the tipping point. This is what will just make the consumers go berserk and start telling all their friends about it. Let's say you've got a Discover card, or maybe you've got a Capital One card. And let's say that during the holidays, it's going to pay you 5% cash back, and Discover does this every year. They'll pay you 5% cash back for using their card to buy all your stuff. And they don't care where you shop. They just want you to use their card so they get the transaction fee. But they're going to give you 5% cash back on all of it. Well, let's say that you want to go buy that same iPad. It's $800. It's Christmas. You go through DubLi. You go to Apple, or if you've got the browser app, you just go to Google and find it. But you go to Apple. You find the iPad. You go to pay for it, but rather than using your free MasterCard debit card from DubLi to pay for it, you use your Discover card because they're going to give you 5% cash back. So you pay the $800, you get 5% cash back on the $800 from Discover. You also get the 7% cash back because you're a VIP customer at DubLi. But then think about this. The bill comes due on my Discover card. Well, guess what I do? I take the $800 sitting on my free MasterCard debit card from DubLi, and I use that to pay off the Discover card. I'm triple dipping now. I am not aware of any site or any company, online or offline, that will allow me to do that. That is really powerful. Think about doing that with 9% cash back at Home Depot. And remember, the regional vice president of Home Depot went bananas. He could not believe we were getting that much cash back to the average consumer. This is an incredible value to the consumer, to the average consumer, not, the rich consumers. We're talking about the average consumers. This appeals to the masses. Anybody that's spending money online can find what they need through DubLi at the same merchants, and they're going to get cash back on everything they were going to do anyway. Same thing with the travel. Same thing with the entertainment. Now, if you're a free customer, you're going to get the monthly cash back, which I've just showed you, on everything you purchase. You get free entertainment. Think about this. I can go to iTunes today. Now, iTunes has the largest library of online music anywhere in the world, about 25, 26 million songs, okay? DubLi has the second largest library of songs online, over 22 million. Now, if I want to, I can go to Apple and go to iTunes, and if I want to listen to all 25, 26 million songs, what do I have to do? I've got to pay a minimum of $1.26 per song. Now, nobody in their right mind is going to do that. I mean, you're talking about $30 million. Who in their right mind would do that? Nobody. Well, you can go to DubLi, 22 million songs. You can listen to all 22 million as much and as often as you want on as many devices as you want for free. You don't ever have to pay a penny. And it's not like Pandora or Spotify where you can go and listen to music for free, but at those two sites, what do? If you want to listen to music for free, you've got to do something else. You've got to listen to ads. You've got to look at pop-up banners. DubLi doesn't do any of that nonsense. And you can listen to all of it for free. We give you free cloud storage, 2 gigabytes. Now, remember, there's the free cashback, the premium, and the VIP. Whoops. The free customers get free on everything, but they still get all these benefits. The premium gets an extra 4%, but here's the difference for the premium customer. It's $4.95 a month. It's a monthly membership, but they can't collect that additional 4% cash back that they receive on everything they purchase until the end of their annual membership. They get an extra 3 gigabytes of cloud storage for free. So they get all the same benefits that the free customers get, plus the 4%, plus an extra 3 gigabytes of cloud storage, plus they can save unlimited playlist. And I don't care whether it's music videos, music, or games. They can do whatever they want. Now, there's one company right now today where you can save your playlist to listen to music online. Now, you got to pay for it, but you can only save 3 playlists. Pandora, Spotify, you can't save any playlists. iTunes, you download your playlist. You download your songs, but you pay $1.26 for every song minimum. Well, at DubLi, we've had this in play for 2 years now. You can save as many playlists as you want. If you want to have a Christmas playlist, maybe a Hanukkah playlist, or a fall playlist, or a Halloween, I don't care. You can have as many as you want. If you're a VIP customer, now guys, this is the one that really makes the most sense, because you literally get paid to be a customer. And if you're a free customer versus being a VIP, or if you're a premium customer versus being a VIP, you're losing money. You are losing money. You get all the same benefits that the free customers get, but you get an extra 6% cash back that you collect every single month, which you can then use that free money to go back into the DubLi Mall, purchase your next product, and get cash back on that as well. So I love having it available to me every single month. You also get 100 gigabytes of free storage. 100 gigabytes. Now think about this. I don't know how many of you use Dropbox out there, but I love Dropbox. And I've been using it long before DubLi offered this, so I've already paid for it for 1 year, and my membership will probably run out here in about 4 or 5 months, and I won't use it anymore. But guess what? I get 100 gigabytes at Dropbox. It costs me $99 a year. For 100 gigabytes of storage at Dropbox is $99 a year. But that's all I get. I don't get any cash back on any shopping. There is no mall. I don't get any cash back on travel because there's no travel portal. I don't get any cash back on entertainment because there's no entertainment portal at Dropbox. I just get 100 gigabytes of cloud storage, and that's it. That's just one of the free items we give with the with the VIP membership at DubLi. Plus, I get my prepaid debit card for free. I get, the ability to save unlimited playlists on my music. This is a phenomenal deal for the consumer. The thing I love about DubLi, and I hope y'all see this, is we don't really have a product. There is no product. We're simply saying to the consumers, as I've said so many times this morning, you simply buy all the same brand name products that you're buying today. You buy them from the same brand name merchants. You fly with your favorite airlines, stay at your favorite hotels, book your favorite car rentals, watch your favorite movies, watch your favorite TV shows through Netflix, listen to your favorite satellite radio stations through SiriusXM Radio, read your favorite listen to your favorite ebooks or your favorite audiobooks, through the Nook or through Downpour. Buy your favorite ebooks from the Nook or from Sony, what's it called? Sony, I forget the name of the store, but you can buy any ebook you want. You do all of that through DubLi, everything that you're going to do anyway, and you're going to get paid to do all the things that you are going to do anyway. That's the beauty of DubLi. So we don't have to try to sell anything. I don't do any convincing whatsoever. I just share my information. I share my back office with my friends, and that's it. When I met with the Red Cross, now this is a pretty prestigious organization for DubLi to have. How did I get the Red Cross? Did I show them some exotic website or some exotic PowerPoint? No. You know what I did? I said to them, well, Lou, the bottom line is all of your donors, they're all consumers, right? She said, oh, well, of course they are. And I said, most of them probably shop online. She said, I would probably say 100% of my real donors that really help the Red Cross consistently, they all shop online. I said, okay, so they're all consumers. They all shop online. Can you imagine any of them that wouldn't want to get cash back? And so I went directly from there, and I just established the cash back that goes to the consumer. She got it. She's so excited about it. She said, Alan, I cannot imagine any scenario where this doesn't work. And that's why she's so excited about it. Now, here's what I also love about the VIP membership. If you're a VIP member at DubLi, you're the only one that has access to this customer referral program. Now, DubLi's in the process of trying to come up with a customer referral program for the free customers and the premium customers, but this is the only one that's available right now. And what happens here is really pretty amazing. If you're a VIP customer, now let's assume that you don't know anything about the business opportunity whatsoever. You're just a you're a VIP customer at DubLi because you love the site. You love the value that it presents to you as a consumer. Well, if you start telling your friends about it, DubLi's going to pay you $20 cash for every one of your friends that you tell about it that becomes a VIP customer also. Now think about this, guys. How many times have you gone to a movie, some great movie, and maybe Paramount made it, or MGM, or Warner Brothers, or maybe Pixar made it? It doesn't matter. Well, if you really enjoyed the movie, what's the next thing you do? Well, when you go to work the next morning, and let's say you stop at Starbucks, and one of your good friends is in there getting a cup of coffee, and you're getting a latte or whatever, you say, "Oh, Steve, man, my wife and I, we went to see this movie last night. It was great. You got to go see it. Take your wife, go see it today. It was great." And then you get to work and you're sitting there with some of your colleagues. "Oh, guys, you won't believe this. We went to see that movie last night. Y'all have heard about it." "Yeah, it is fantastic. I couldn't recommend it more." Well, my question to you is this. It's really simple. How much did Paramount, how much did MGM, how much did Warner Brothers, how much did Pixar pay you to do that? And the answer is nothing. They don't pay you anything to do that. Well, why do you do it? Because we love sharing information, good news with our friends. Now, unfortunately, part of human nature is we also like talking about bad things, but that's a whole different can of worms there. But the bottom line is DubLi will pay you to tell your friends about it. And I don't know anybody that wouldn't want to receive $68 cash back on a present they were going to buy for their son anyway. I don't know anybody that wouldn't want $23.66 cash back on their hotel room that they were going to stay at anyway. So you're going to tell your friends about it. Even if DubLi didn't pay you the $20, our customers will tell their friends about it. And they're going to get $20 for every one of their friends they tell. If they just tell 5 of their friends, their membership is paid for. It's free. Now, let me give you a comparison on what happened with Groupon. Everybody knows who Groupon is. 2011, that was the year of Groupon. Groupon is the fastest company in history to go from 0 to $1 billion in revenue in North America. Fastest company in history to go from 0 to $1 billion. They did it in 28 months, less than 2.5 years. During that same time span, they went from 30,000 customers to 84 million customers. How did they do that? Because you talk about growing fast. I mean, that's growing at the speed of the internet. It's what I call that. How did they do it? Well, they had a 3-pronged approach. Number one, the consumers could join for free. In other words, they removed all the barriers to entry because it didn't cost you anything. And number two, they had a customer referral program. Even though you could join for free, if you referred one of your friends who joined Groupon because of you, Groupon would give you $10 in Groupon bucks. And then they were spending $20 million on an ad campaign online. Well, what was the deal with the $10 in Groupon bucks? And they might even pay more now, I don't know, but it's not money. All that really is, it's a discount towards a future purchase with Groupon. In other words, the only thing you could use that $10 of Groupon bucks with was another coupon that came from Groupon. If you didn't buy another coupon from Groupon, you didn't get the $10. It just went away. That's the beauty of this. This is real cash. You can take that $20. You can put it on your free MasterCard debit card. You could literally march right down to the local ATM machine, pull the cash off the card, and you can do with it whatever you want to. It's real money. That's the beauty of this. Now, let me give you a scenario. And some of you are going to kind of scoff at this a little bit, but I'm telling you, it's going to happen. I hope it happens to one of you on this call. You're going to have a customer who has no interest in the business whatsoever, for whatever reason, that's fine. And let's say this customer's name is Sue. And Sue happens to know a good friend of hers who she grew up with. It's like her brother. And let's say that Sue lives up in Dayton, Ohio, but her friend Steve, who's like a brother to her, now lives out in San Francisco. And let's say that Steve is some kind of local celebrity. And let's say, for example, Steve probably has about maybe 100,000 followers on his Twitter account. Well, Sue knows you really well. And because of her relationship with you, because of her trust, she agrees to be a VIP customer, and you keep helping her educate, see how the benefits are to her and by using DubLi and whatnot. Well, then after a little while, she starts emailing Steve about it. Now remember, Steve's out in San Francisco. She hadn't seen Steve in maybe 10 years, but they're just, like brother and sister. And she says, Steve, you need to try this. This is great. So Steve, because he trusts Sue, he decides to go ahead and sign up as a VIP customer. He becomes a VIP customer. He starts using the site. He thinks it's the greatest thing he's seen since sliced bread. He loves it. So what does Steve start doing? Steve starts tweeting this to his followers on Twitter. And like I said, he's got 100,000 followers. And let's say that over the course of the next 6 months, now I promise you guys, this will happen. This is not some fantasy. It will happen. Steve's sitting there tweeting for about 6 months to his followers. Well, they trust him. That's why they're following him. They look up to him for whatever reason. And all of a sudden, 10% of them start to get it. And they say, hey, Steve, how do we become a VIP member at DubLi? So Steve sends them a link because he just goes down here and he clicks on this Earn Now. He goes to the Tell a Friend page on the site, and he puts in their email address and he tweets it out to them. Well, let's say that 10% of those 100,000 followers, or 10,000 of them, decide they want to be a VIP customer because they've just been listening to Steve. They trust Steve. If those 10,000, now remember, Steve doesn't know anything whatsoever about the business opportunity behind DubLi. He's just a customer because of Sue. So Steve tweets this out. He sends out the Tell a Friend button to all those 10,000 people that wanted it, that are his, part of his 100,000 followers. If those 10,000 people join up as a VIP customer at DubLi because of Steve, guess what happens to Steve? Steve receives $200,000 in cash of referral fees. Now, y'all might think that's a little over the top, but it's not. I promise you it will happen. Now, it won't happen tomorrow. It won't happen next month. I doubt that will happen by the end of this year because of one simple fact. DubLi doesn't have the brand name recognition yet. And you know what? That's one of the best things I could tell all of you. DubLi doesn't even have 30,000 VIP customers in North America yet. DubLi doesn't have 30,000 VIP customers yet in North America. That is the best thing I could tell anybody on this call, because that means the market's wide open. Guys, we can go, all the low-hanging fruit is still out there on the vine. We just got to go out and pick it. We don't try to sell anything. We just share the information. We share what's happening in our back office with our friends. That's going to attract the customers. The more you use the site, the better VIP customer you become, the more customers you're going to attract, and it is that simple. Now, we've seen how valuable the site is to the average consumer. I mean, Doug got $86 back, cash back, real money, in 8 days of doing what he was going to do anyway. I got $68 cash back on a present I was going to buy for my son anyway. Well, if the site's this valuable to the consumers, imagine how valuable it would be for you to own a DubLi portal and start gathering customers, especially when you realize that we're sitting here and we don't even have 30,000 VIP customers in North America. Go back to Groupon real quick. Groupon went from 30,000 customers to 84 million. Now, look, let's just use some common sense here. What if Groupon had come to you and said, okay, guys, look, if you'll help us collect customers, we'll give you joint ownership of the customers, and we'll pay you 25% commission on whatever they spend at Groupon. Well, I want to ask you one question. What if that opportunity had been presented to you, and you got to work, and let's say that you owned 1%, just 1% of the marketplace when there was only 30,000 customers at Groupon? What would that 1% be worth to you as it grew from 30,000 to 84 million? Now think about that. Had you been given that opportunity, had you taken advantage of it, had you been able to hold 1% of the market as it went from 30,000 to 84 million, you would not be on this call. You'd be sitting on a beach somewhere or maybe up in the mountains, but you would not be sitting on this call. Now, unfortunately, Groupon didn't give us that opportunity. DubLi is. And guys, I'm telling you something. If you don't see this, if you don't take advantage of it, you know what? That's fine. I'm not going to drag anybody across the finish line. I don't need to. I've never seen anything like this. I truly believe, now I'm 60 years old, I believe this is the greatest opportunity I have ever or will see in my life. And I'm working my tail off because I'm going to set up my family for generations to come with this because it's all built on the customers. It has nothing to do with me. Only thing I got to do is just open up my mouth. And then think about this. You just go out and do a comparison. Now, I get emails every single day from Groupon. I get emails every single day from Amazon Local, which is the competitor to Groupon. You know how many times I've used Groupon? And I've been having Groupon emails come to me for the last, gosh, at least the last year and a half, year and a quarter, something like that. Amazon Local, I've been getting Amazon Local emails for maybe about 8 or 9 months. You know how many times I've used both of them? 0. Never. Now, why? Because the value that they present, it's not bad. I mean, sometimes you're going to get anywhere from 50% off on a product or service from a local merchant. Sometimes you might get as much as 90% off. But every time they send me an email, they're catching me at a bad time. It's not something I need that day. It's not something I need that month. It's not something I need that quarter. And so consequently, I don't ever use them. Here's the point I'm trying to get at. If Groupon could go from 30,000 customers to 84 million, if they could go from 0 to $1 billion faster than any company in the history of North America, think what's going to happen to DubLi once enough people find out about it. And nobody knows about DubLi. Imagine owning 1% of the market share in the U.S. And you know we're not going to stop at 84 million. I don't know where it's going to go. But I know it's going to be huge. And I know that I'm going to grab as much market share as I possibly can. Well, if we want to do this, what do? Well, whoever invited you on the call, they're going to send you a link. And you're going to go to DubLi Network. Now, what is DubLi Network? It's a totally separate site. It's something that the customers never see. This is the business side of DubLi.com. Now, understand this. When you go to DubLi.com, you're treated exactly the same as any other customer who may or may not know anything about the business opportunity behind DubLi. Nothing's different. Exactly the same. But when you go to DubLi Network, this is where the business end of this takes place. You've got all the tools, you've got everything you need in order to build your business on a global basis. Now, there's a business package, a $499 business package. This is a one-time fee. You pay it one time and one time only. It's kind of maybe like buying a franchise, except you're not spending $200,000 or $2 million. You're spending $499. Now, this is not the package to buy, and I'm going to show you why right after we take this break. I'm about to wrap this up so we can take a break here real quick. But starting in year 2, you're also going to have to pay $39 a year. Now, this maintains your access to all the tools in the back office. Now, there's 2 ways to make money with DubLi. First of all, if you want to get a DubLi portal, and all you want to do is go out and collect customers, because if you remember at the beginning of this presentation, I talked about the fact that we would have people who would come into the DubLi business, they would become a team member, which is the bottom right. They would never progress past a team member, but because they had such a knack for collecting customers, they'll make more money than 70% of the senior vice presidents, which is the top rank with the company. That's never, ever, ever happened before in any direct sell company. Never. There's never been the opportunity for that because there's never been a company that offers the incredible value to the consumer that DubLi offers. That's it in a nutshell. Now, there's a second way you can earn money with DubLi is if you've got people who want to also get their own DubLi portal and start collecting customers, you can help them by educating them on how to buy their package, how to start sharing their back office with their customers, just, the ropes of the business. And it's that simple. You can get an override on their customers. Now, it won't be as much as you make on your own personal customers. You will always make 25% on your personal customers no matter what you do. So let's go back to my example where I was talking about Sue. Well, here's Sue, and let's say this is Steve right here, the one that had the 200,000, or excuse me, yeah, had the 100,000 followers on Twitter. And so these people right here might represent a portion of those 10,000 customers that decided they wanted to be a VIP customer. Now, remember, Steve got $200,000 because he told 10% of his 100,000 followers, and because he told them he got the $20 referral fee on each one of them. There is no limit here. Imagine what's going to happen to Twitter. Imagine what's going to happen to the blogs. Imagine what's going to happen to Facebook when the news starts spreading that some guy who's a customer made $200,000 referring his followers on Twitter to DubLi. And I promise you, it's going to happen. I don't know when it's going to happen. I just hope it's under me. Because you know what? If it's under me, I'll make $250,000 off of that. And I had nothing to do with it. I don't know those customers. They don't even know that I exist. So here's the point. I tell Sue tells Steve and maybe Linda and Jeff. And they start telling their friends about it, and they tell their friends about it, and they tell their friends about it. Here's what happens. All of these customers that are referral customers, they're all considered as your personal customers. You're going to receive a 25% commission on everything they do. Every transaction they do on the DubLi Mall. Now understand this. The value that you see for the consumer today with DubLi is just the beginning. We're just getting started. DubLi will continue to add more value to the site. One of the things that DubLi is doing right now, I don't know if y'all know the term aggregator, but an aggregator is a company that goes around and they'll get some of these merchants who are selling online, put them together in one company, and then they can offer an affiliate. And what happens is right now, DubLi has gotten all of the merchants in their mall from one of these aggregators. Well, DubLi is in the process of becoming its own aggregator. In other words, they're going to cut out that middleman. Because that middleman, you know, they've got to take a fee on this. They're eating up some of the cash back that the merchants are paying. Now, let's ask a question. Why are the merchants willing to pay us cash back for sending them customers? Well, it's the perfect scenario for the merchant because they have no risk whatsoever. Now, think about it. I'm a merchant. Let's say, for example, I'm Walmart. Now, I've got to get my brand recognition out there, which Walmart's obviously done that. But the way I do it is I put up billboard ads on the road. I put ads in magazines. I do it on radio. I do it on TV. I mean, I do ads all over the place. I spend all this money up front. I don't have any idea whether I'm going to get customers from that money that's being spent or not. There's a risk in that advertising, but I have to do it. I mean, we've been proven time and time again that if you don't spend money on advertising, your sales will drop. You just got to keep your product out in the front of the consumer's mind. Well, here's what happens. We deliver a customer to DubLi. DubLi delivers the customer to the merchant. The merchant says, oh, well, I don't have to pay you unless you bring a customer to the table who actually makes a purchase, then I pay you. There is no risk to the consumer, to the merchant. This is a great deal for the merchant. That's why they're willing to pay us cash back. If we can cut out the middleman so that DubLi's its own aggregator, that's just that much more cash back that we can pay the average consumer. And guys, the more cash back we can pay the average consumer, guess what? The more commissions we make. That's the significance of all of this. DubLi will explode. Now, I don't know how long it's going to take. I really don't. I wish I had the crystal ball, but I don't. Well, let's do this. Now, if you help other people starting a business, you are going to earn anywhere from 5% to as much as 27.5% override on their personal customers. These are considered your organizational customers. And what determines whether you get 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, or 27.5 is determined by something we call your organizational rank. In other words, are you a team member, a team leader, a team coordinator, a sales director, a vice president, or a senior vice president? The differential between you and the rank of the person that has those customers, that's what determines the override you get on their customers. Now, we're going to take a 5-minute break. If you need to go to the restroom, go ahead and do that. I've got a couple slides I want to finish for this. But what I'm going to do is we're going to come back, and I'm going to talk about doing the organic growth. In other words, starting as a team member, and I want to show you clearly why you don't want to do it this way if you can afford not to. The way to build this business is with the Team Leader Accelerated Package, the TLA package. That is the only one that really makes good sense. And I'll show you that this morning, and I'll show you the difference in the income that can be generated. But more importantly, I'm going to show you that by doing the TLA package, you can immediately start bringing in these nonprofits. And that's where the money is, because these are groups of customers you're going to bring in through this organization. So let's take a 5-minute break, and we'll come back. Let's see, what time is it right now? All right, it's 1:22. At 1:27, we'll come back. Now, it's only going to take me about 25 minutes to wrap all this up. But, guys, I'm telling you, stay with the call. Go ahead and take a break real quick and come back, because I'm going to show you something so powerful that I really do believe if you decide to enact, because, you know, I'm not going to sit here and tell everybody that this is the right business for you. I don't know that. You've got to make that decision. But if you decide to engage in DubLi, if you're willing to put forth the effort, and yes, you're going to have to work hard. This is not a piece of cake. This is not simple. I'm sorry. It is simple, but it's like anything else. If you want to achieve success, you're going to have to work for it. But it's going to change your financial destiny for generations to come. It's not just about you. It's about the generations who might not even exist yet that will follow you because of the value to the consumer. All right, it is 123. We'll be all right. 128. I'll be right back. So y'all, we'll see you in just a few minutes. Okay, I'm back. I'm sorry it took me a little bit longer there. Let me do this here real quick. Hold on just a second, guys. Let me go back to this right here. All right, what I want to focus on this part of the training is I want to talk about the TLA package. And here it is. It's $24.95 in the U.S., or let's just call it $2,500. But let me show you what it includes. It includes the $499 business package. It includes 2 VIP membership packages. Now, because it includes it, then you're going to get them. I don't know that I'd want to use them. That's going to be 10 VIP memberships you can give away for free. I don't believe you should ever give away anything on DubLi for free. For one simple reason, there's just too much value. You don't need to do that. And a lot of times, y'all know as well as I do, if somebody gets something for free, well, they assume it has no value and they don't use it. So I just don't believe, I'm probably just going to hold on to it and not give it away. And maybe I'll give it to one of my family members or something, but I just don't think you need to do that. But it also includes the $1,000 that you have to pay in order to go through the certification process so that you can pass that certification and you can then start offering it to the partner programs. Now, is it worth it to spend $1,000 to do the partner program? Absolutely. This is the way to build a business. Going out and getting your own customers, that's fine and that's great, and I'm doing that. I'm working really hard at it. I've got another meeting on Monday. I'm trying to do a meeting every week in front of a large group of women. They're the ones that control the spending online. They're the ones that control the spending in the household. That's who I want to get at. That's my target market. And trust me, the more customers you can get, however you get them, whether you want to do a booth somewhere, you want to go to a fair and do a booth, or maybe you want to go to some kind of convention hall and do a booth. I don't care how you get your customers, but if you can get your own customers, that is the best way to do it, because you've got the ability to sit down with them and show them your back office, which is going to create that visceral reaction on their part because they get to see it. Starting October the 1st, we're going to have these these marketing packages that we'll be able to sell again, or we'll be able to buy them again. They're $1,000 a piece, and you're going to get somewhere between 12 and 20 VIP customers for every $1,000 you spend. Now, we don't know exactly the number yet, but what's going to happen is those people will have they will have called into a call center. They're going to see an ad somewhere online or in print or media somewhere, and there's 3 companies that are doing this for us right now. When that customer sees the ad, they call into the call center. Someone will walk them through so that they're fully engaged with DubLi. They've paid their $99 VIP membership fee, and then they're delivered to you because you bought them. And you're getting, I don't know if it's going to be 14 or 20 or what the number is going to be. We'll find out October the 1st. But we know it's going to be more than 12 because the company's already told us that. But those customers are not going to have had the visceral reaction of sitting down with you, whether they know you or not, and seeing your back office and really seeing what's happening. And you will never be given access to those customers. You'll get them, you'll get the commissions off of them, but because you didn't get them because the company did, they won't give you access to the customers. I would much rather go out and get my own customers, because those are the ones that are really going to have the visceral reaction. Those are the ones that are going to really create the viral growth. So it's going to include your business package, the $499. It's going to include 2 voucher packages with 10 VIP memberships you can give away. But again, I'm not sure. I'm just going to hold on to them. Or I'm not going to give them away. And then, of course, it includes the $1,000 for the certification process, but it also includes the TLA status. You cannot, even if you had the $1,000 to go spend, and if you're a team member, you're not eligible to it. If you start as a team member and you don't buy TLA package, you've got to go from team member to team leader to team coordinator in order to be eligible to even approach the partner programs, and you have to pay the $1,000 to boot. This is the way to do it. This also, we like to call it the rapid rank advancement. It allows you to build your rank faster than any other way you can do it. it's really important to you to do this, and let me show you why. All right? Now, we know that the backbone of success to DubLi is the VIP customer. That's what this is all about, and don't lose sight of that. And guys, let me just say this. If you're on this call today and you're not absolutely convinced that you have the ability to go out and share, not sell, but share your back office with your friends and your family, because this is the first time in the direct selling history that your friends and your family are not going to run from you when you do this. Now, you don't have to do the TLA package. You do not have to go after partner programs if you don't want to. If that's not your cup of tea, just go out and get your own customers. That's fine. Whatever, it's up to you. It's not for me to tell you what to do. I'm just telling what you can do and the ramifications of doing the different things that you may or may not want to do, okay? So if you don't want to go after partner programs because you don't feel comfortable with it, that's fine as well. What I would encourage you to do there is just go find somebody that is an entrepreneur and let them go after the partner programs, because you'll get an override as long as you maintain your rank and stuff. All right, so that's the backbone of this. And it really does create a situation where DubLi becomes the ideal fundraiser. It's truly the perfect fundraiser, because parents don't have to do baking sales. They don't have to do pizza drives. They don't have to sell magazine subscriptions. They don't have to sell gift wrapping paper. They don't have to do car washes. They just do what they're going to do anyway. And the school, the church, the Red Cross, whatever the partner program organization happens to be, they're going to get a 30% override or commission on all of the free cash back that's generated from all of those members, whether they're parents, whether they're donors, whether they're just people that have an affinity for that group for whatever reason. So let's go ahead and dive into this, and let's see where this is going to take us, because it's really, truly amazing what you can do with this. And one of the keys to this too, and I'm going to drive this home so much because it really is important that everybody gets this. And now, I've said earlier in the presentation that I really don't need to talk about e-commerce. We know where it's going, but now Jerry Thomas sent me this last night, and I looked at this, and this is where e-commerce is going. Here's 2010, $167 billion in the U.S. By 2017, it's going to $434 billion just in the U.S. Those are the projections by, I think this is Forrester Research that did this one. That's pretty amazing. Now, again, remember this. There's no other site in North America that offers this kind of cash back, that offers this many merchants with this many products for the consumer, that also combines it with a travel portal, that also combines it with an entertainment portal. Nobody has ever put this under one roof before. And I'm telling you, it's there for the picking. You just got to decide how much market share you want and how hard are you willing to work for it. That's the key to all of this, okay? Now, how do you build your business, really? Now, I want everybody to pay attention to this slide, because this is the key to this business right here. This is the most important slide I'm going to show you tonight. The way you build your business is the first thing that you do is you buy your package. Now, whether it's a team member package or a TLA package, that's totally up to you. But the reason you need to buy your package first is because you want to become your own VIP customer. If you buy your VIP package first, you're going to get a link from the person that invited you on the call or has been educating you about this, and they're going to get the $20 referral fee, and they're going to get the 25% commission on your VIP membership. If you go ahead and join first and then get your VIP membership, you won't get the $20 referral fee, because you have to already be a VIP in order to get the referral fee. Okay, that's common sense. But you will get the 25% commission on your own VIP account, because you are your own VIP customer. But this is it. You become a VIP customer and you create your own story inside your cash organizer. That's how you build your business. It's that simple. The next thing you're going to do is, the more you use the product, the stronger your story becomes, because the more money shows up in your cash organizer. the more examples you can show to your friends and your family who do not run from you anymore because you're giving them money. You're not trying to sell them something they don't want. Oh, you know what? I forgot to Are y'all? Yeah, y'all see my slides, right? Hold on, somebody. I hope you can see. Since yes, Graham. I won't do that. Okay, I thought y'all couldn't see my slides for a minute. I'm sorry. All right. So the more you use the product, the stronger the story becomes. Well, the stronger your story becomes, the more VIP customers you're going to attract. I mean, think about it. If you've only used it sparingly over the last couple of months or the next 3 or 4 months, and maybe you've got $30 cash back in your back office, and you go to share this with a friend of yours or a family member or a cousin, whatever they happen to be, or a colleague, and you've only got $30 cash back in your office, and they know that it cost you $99 for the membership, and you've done this over 3 or 4 months, that's not going to do anything to them. They're not going to get excited. There will not be a visceral reaction. So the stronger or the more you use the products, the stronger the story becomes, and of course the stronger the story becomes, the more VIP customers you're going to attract. And of course, the more customers you attract, the more attractive your business becomes to the true entrepreneurs. They'll see it. And let me tell you something. Cherie Novobrannik's on the call, and she's over in Australia. She did an event a couple of months ago or 6 weeks ago, something like that, and it was a 3-hour event, just 3 hours. Now, keep in mind, there's no brand name recognition for DubLi anywhere in the world right now. Nobody knows about it. Even though we're a 10-year-old company, we're the best kept secret on Wall Street right now, but that's about to change. So she goes and she does this 3-hour event. She sets up a booth. In that 3 hours, just by open, and here's what she did. She did this recipe right. This is your recipe for formula right. Excuse me. This is your recipe for success right here. It is no more complicated than what I'm showing you on this slide right here. And if you try to make it complicated, you're gonna shoot yourself in the foot. Cherie did the event. She had a booth. She opened up her tablet to her back office. She showed where she had created her own story in her cash organizer. She had been using the product every single day almost, and her product, their story became stronger and stronger for her, and because she could show them something, they were having a visceral reaction. Now, understand this. Nobody knew who Cherie was. Nobody knew who DubLi was. Out of the 20 people, only 3 of them were willing to spend the $99 to become a VIP customer. Now, that doesn't surprise me. What surprises me is that 3 of them were willing to spend or part with $99 to a company, to a person they'd never heard of before. The rest of them, the other 17, signed up as free customers. They wanted to kick the tires. They wanted to see if this was for real because they didn't know Cherie and they didn't know DubLi. And that makes sense to me. I can understand that. But the point is, Cherie was able to get 20 customers, and 3 of those customers decided to become VIP customers. Now, to me, that's impressive. The fact that they were willing to do that with somebody they didn't know, that really says a lot about the offering. That makes you recognize that this is for real. People are starting to get it. So here's what we're going to do. Hold on just a second. Here we go. I had my screen paused because I jumped to some more slides here. So what I'm going to do in the rank advancement, we're going to make some assumptions here. I'm going to assume that everybody's going to get a VIP membership because it doesn't make any sense not to. And you're going to at least come in with a team member package. But I want to really stress the TLA package. Now, again, let me just say this. This is your business. I have no right to tell you what to do. I'm telling you what I would do, but you've got to decide what's best for you and what you feel comfortable with and what you're willing to do. And maybe you can't afford the $2,500 package right now, and I certainly understand that. There are a lot of people in this economy today who've been really hurt by things. Maybe they got laid off, or they got credit card bills, or they got kids in college. Whatever the reason is, doesn't matter. But let me just show you the difference between the two and what it means to you, particularly when you add in the ability to bring in the partner programs. So we're going to look at doing the organic growth. You're going to join. We're going to assume it's going to take you 3 months to go from a team member to a sales director. Because remember, you go from team member to team leader, from team leader to team coordinator, and then from team coordinator to sales director. The reason I go to sales director is that's a rank that I believe everybody on this call can achieve. You make sales director and you get enough customers, you're going to make a ton of money. Now, later we'll talk about being a vice president and senior vice president, but not today. I'm just going to go to sales director. And I'm going to assume it's going to take you 3 months. Then we're going to compare that to the TLA package, and we're going to assume it takes you 3 months to go from a TLA to a sales director. Okay? And then we're also going to make the assumption, or I am, that each one of you is going to average 30 personal VIP customers every month for 3 months. Now, 30 might sound like a lot, but it's not. I got 2 yesterday. I fully expect on Monday I'll get at least 22 VIP customers out of the meeting I'm going to do. And it's one of the first ones I've done. And those people, they don't know who I am. They've never heard of DubLi. But I know I can get in front of them. I'm going to have their attention because I've got a 30-minute presentation I'm going to do with them. And these are all women who spend money online. They all own their own business. And so that's what we're doing. Now, in this, if we assume we get 30 VIP customers every month, and these are our personal customers, here's what happens. You take the $99 VIP membership fee times the 30 VIPs times 25%, that's $742.50 off of those 30 VIPs. Now, there's also, you got to remember, you're a VIP customer, so you're using the VIP referral, the customer referral program. So there's another $20 times 30. There's another $600. That's a total of $1,342.50. Now, remember this number because I'm going to use it over and over here. This is just from the VIP customers you get. This has nothing to do with building your rank. This is just your customers, okay? So let's assume that you do it for 3 months. That's a total of $4,027.50. Now, go back to this figure. What did I tell y'all earlier? Y'all remember about the average distributor in the direct sales companies around the world? They average less. The average income for the average distributor worldwide that are all members of the Direct Selling Association, they average less than $250 per year. All you did was get 30 customers, and look. Now, this is a one-time fee because this is an annual fee, but you get it every single year. You don't get the $20 every single year because they've already been referred to you, but you do get the $742.50 every single year. Plus the first year you'll get the $20, okay? So that's $1,342.50 every month. And they're averaging less than $250 per year. So in 3 months, that's $4,027.50. And of course, I'm assuming you get a new 30 VIP customers every single month for the 3 months that we're going to go through this scenario here. So let's look at the organic growth. If you start your business as a team member, that's the bottom rank. Anybody that you personally sponsor, you're eligible to earn a 5% commission on any packages that they buy. So for example, if you sponsor somebody in your front line and they buy the $499 business package, you're going to earn 5% of it, or $24.95. They become a VIP customer, you're going to earn $4.95 on the $99. That's 5%. Okay? They'll get the 25% because they're their own personal customer. So if we continue to work this out, in order to get to the next rank, we've got to sponsor 3 people on your front line, meaning you personally sponsored them. Now you become a team leader. That's the first promotion you've received. If we look at the income generated from this, you got 30 VIP customers the first month. Now, we're going to assume this first month they're not going to get 30 VIP customers because they got to get their arms around this, and it takes a little bit of education, a little bit of understanding. So what happened is you had 3 BAs who got a business package at 5%, that's $74.85. You had 3 VIPs at 5%, that's $14.85. That's a total in the first month of $1,432.20. Now, to give you an idea of the significance of this, where's the money coming from? Look at this. 90% of it's coming from right there, from your personal customers. That just proves my point right there. All right, now, we're a team leader. Now, as a team leader, you're eligible to earn 10% on anybody you sponsor. Remember, as a team member, you can only earn 5% on these guys. If you sponsored somebody else right now on your front line, you'd make a 10% commission on their package rather than a 5%. Because you've reached the next rank. Well, we're not interested in this right now. We want to progress your rank. So in order for you to go from a team leader to a team coordinator, we've got to help all three of these people down here duplicate what you did so that they all become team leaders, which they've done now, and now you're promoted to a team coordinator. If we look at the income from this, in month 2, you got another set of 30 VIP customers. Now, with what I'm doing, I'm hoping to get as many as 400 or 500 VIP customers every single month. And I know as time goes on, it's going to be easier and easier for me to do this. And I'm willing to work as hard as it takes. I don't care because I know what this does for me. And I know that I'm never going to see this again. So 30 VIP customers in month 2 for me is another $1342.50. Now we also have these 3 customers. This is their second month. I'm sorry, VAs. This is their second month, and we're going to assume that in their second month they're going to average 30 VIP customers every month times 3 VAs times 99 times 5%. That's $445.50. All right. Now why am I only getting 5%? Because this says I'm eligible to earn 10% on anybody that I've personally sponsored. Well, when it comes to the customers, we call this a differential compensation plan. You can call it whatever you want to, really, but here's the way it works. If I'm a team coordinator, all right, I'm eligible to receive a 15% commission on anybody that I personally sponsor. Because this person right here is a team leader, that's one rank below this. I can earn 15%, the team leader can earn 10%. I have to take 15% minus their 10%, which leaves me 5% override that I'm going to get on their customers. Okay? Now, the reason for that is they're getting 25% on their personal customers. You have to take the differential of their rank minus from your rank, your rank minus their rank, the 15% minus the 10%, which leaves you 5% that you get on their customers. They're getting 25% because they're their customers, but you're getting a 5% override because of the differential in rank. All right, now you've also got these 9 VAs down here that got their business package. They got their VIP package also. So that's a total of $2,057.10 in month 2. And you're now a team coordinator. You've got 12 people in your organization, and it took you 2 months to get here. Well, let's go to the next rank. You're now a team coordinator. I'm having to blow this up so we can see it better. You're still a team coordinator, and you're entitled to earn 15% on anybody you personally sponsor. So in order for you to go from a team coordinator to a sales director, that's the next rank, you've got to help all 9 of these people down here find 3 each so that they become team leaders. And once you do that with all 3 of these, and we help, this person becomes a team coordinator. We do it over here with these 3 people. This person becomes a team coordinator. Same thing over here. This person becomes a team coordinator, and now you are promoted to a sales director. And as a sales director, instead of earning 15% on somebody you personally sponsor, you can earn 20% on somebody that you personally sponsor. Now, there's 39 people in this organization. You got these 3, these 9, and these 27. That's 39 people. Now understand this, they're all positioned perfectly. In other words, this person only has 3 people on their front line. This person only has 3 people on their front line. This one doesn't have 4 or 5 on their front line, and then, of the 5, or maybe only 3 of them got their 3. They're all positioned perfectly. And the reason I'm trying to stress that is that never happens in real life. The average sales director has about 140 people in their organization in order to reach the rank of sales director if they do it through the organic growth. But you got to have at least the 39 positioned perfectly to get there, okay? So it's going to take a lot of effort. That's my real point here. So if we look at the income, again, in the month 3, you got another 30 VIP customers. That's another $1342. You've got 12 VAs. These 9 plus these 3 is 12 who got 30 VIP customers. That's $1782. You have these 27 VAs down here who each get their business package, who also each get their VIP package. So that gives you a grand total of $3,931.80 in month 3. If we add all 3 months together, in month 1, remember you had the $1432.20. Month 2, $2,057.10. And month 3 is the $3931.80. So that's a grand total of $7,421.10. Okay? Now let me show you one other thing. This that should be 20%, I'm sorry, not 15, because you're a sales director. Here's what I want you to understand. This is why building your rank is so important. If you look at this organization, and remember, this is a perfect organization, and it's never going to happen like this in life. You'll have closer to probably 140 BAs in here to get, in order to get everybody positioned just perfectly so that you progress to a sales director. But you're only making a 5% override on everybody's customers in this entire organization. If you're a sales director, now there's 39 people. If you were to sponsor another 39 people on your front line, you'd make 20% commission on all their business packages, on all their VIP packages, plus you're going to make a 15% commission on all of their customers. If these customers were doing the same thing that all these customers are doing, and you had the exact same number of customers per BA, you're going to make 3 times as much money on all of these customers as you will on all the customers in this organization. If you didn't have the rank, you wouldn't. If you were a team leader, for example, you'd only make a 5% override on their customers. If you were a team member, which you couldn't be, but if you were a team member and you sponsored a team member, you don't make anything on their customers until you become a team leader, because you've got to have at least one rank above them. So 39 BAs times 29 times 99, or plus 99, that's 20%. That's 4,664. If they all had their 30 VIPs, that's another 17,350. That's a total of 22,038.90 on this group out here versus the 7,423 down here. That's how important it is to get your rank, and how important it is for you to sponsor as many people on your front line as possible if you want to maximize the income. Now, if you just want to come in and collect nothing but customers, that's fine. You can do that. There's nothing that requires you to do this. This is just your choice. But you can see the difference in income that's generated on the same number of customers as is in this organization, but it's just because of the differential in rank. And it's important that you see that. So what I'm trying to tell you is this. You need to build your rank, but you also need to build your width, because your rank gives you the structure, or the structure gives you the rank, and but your width gives you the dough. That's one of the things I like to say in this, okay? Real important. All right, now let's do this. Let's compare what I just did, and let's start it with the TLA package. Now, with the TLA package, you start as a team leader. We call it the Team Leader Accelerated Package. It's the $24.95 package. And again, if you sponsor somebody, they're getting the TLA package, which is $24.95. So you're making 10% of that, because now, so you start out as a team leader, which means you're eligible to earn 10% right away on anybody that you personally sponsor. So when they get their VIP package, you get $9.90 on that. So if we sponsor 3 people on your front line with a TLA package, you become a team coordinator with only 3 people in your organization. If you remember back on the other slides, it took 12 people positioned perfectly in order for you to become a team coordinator in the organic growth. Well, let's look at the income generated from this. You're getting your 30 VIP customers per month. That's the same $1,342.50. These 3 VAs get their TLA package at 10%. That's $748.50, plus their $99 for their VIP membership. That's $2,120.70. Now, in month 1, we're going to assume that they don't get any VIP customers, because it's going to take them a while. Even though they're starting at a higher rank, it's going to take them a while to understand everything. Well, now that you're a team coordinator, what we want to do next is we want to get the sales director. Now, remember, in the other organic growth, you had to have 12 people positioned perfectly in order to be a team coordinator. Here, you've only got 3. It takes 1/4 the number of people. Well, now what we want to do is we want to help these 3 people right here duplicate this rank, because in order for me to be a sales director, I've got to have 3 team coordinators on my front line. In other words, I've got to have 3 people that I personally sponsored who become team coordinators. So if I help, and plus if I sponsor somebody else on my front line right now, I won't make 10%. Now I'll make 15%. Okay. In the beginning, we're really only interested in the rank right now. So if I help this person get 3 TLAs on his or her front line, this person becomes a team coordinator. Same thing over here. This person becomes a team coordinator. I've got 3 team coordinators on my front line, and I'm now a sales director. But look at the difference. I've only got 12 people. It is so much easier to perfectly position 12 people than it is 39 to get the sales director, I mean, it's like night and day. And if we look at the income, you got another 30 VIP customers in month 2. That's $1342.50. Plus the 3 BAs down here. This is their second month. They're going to get 30 VIP customers at 5%. Now remember, you're only getting 5% because of the differential. 20% minus 15% gives you 5% override on their personal customers. Then you've got the non-BAs down here who are getting their TLA package at 5%, plus the non-VIPs at 99. That's a total of $2,955.30. Now you're a sales director, you can earn up to 20%. Let's assume this. Let's assume that these 12 people, now think about it, it's not that hard to go find 12 people who are very entrepreneurial, who will see this, because remember, how did we build our business? What's the key? You become a VIP customer, create your own story. The more you share that story with your friends and your family and your neighbors and anybody else that you happen to know, your colleagues, I don't care where they are, they're going to see it. They're going to see the value that you're receiving as a customer. They're going to want to become a customer. The more customers you attract, the more attractive this becomes to the entrepreneurials. You can find 12 people that want to do this. So if each one of them, let's assume they only get one partner program, just one. Watch what happens with the numbers on this. And we're going to assume that it's a local high school or a local church. Now, it will be nothing. Trust me, it's going to be a joke. Now, it's going to take a little bit of time, and you're going to have to work hard to do this, but it's not going to be difficult for you to get 400 parents who have they're passionate about helping their kids. And I got to be honest with you guys. If I compare high schools to the Red Cross, now, look, I'm excited about the Red Cross. I'd be an idiot not to be. And I'm going to work as hard as I can to help them create whatever success with this they want to. But the bottom line is this. I'm much more excited about the local high schools than I am about the Red Cross, because the parents are so motivated to help their kids. They're passionate about it. It's not going to be difficult for you at all for you to get 400 parents doing $99 to become VIP customers. So 400 parents times $99 times 12, because each one of them gets one local partner program. You're getting a 5% override because of the differential in here again. So that's $23,760. Okay? But that's just off the membership. That's an annual thing. Now, you don't get any $20 referral fee because you didn't do it. You will on your own personal customers, but not on a partner program that you sponsor or anybody in your organization. They get the $20 referral fee. The organization does. But let's look at the income, the residual income that these 400 parents will generate. Now, we know from the company that each VIP customer, on average, is spending $240 per month. Now, this was before the travel portal was put in place. Well, 240, the average 8%, the average free cash back, because remember, that's what we get paid on, free cash back. The average is 8% in the mall. Well, 8% times 240 is $19.20. Well, you're only going to get a 5% override, so 5% of that is 96 cents. Doesn't sound like a lot of money, but it starts to add up. Because you take 96 cents times 400 times 12, that's $4,608 per month. Now, here's the power of the partner program. If each BA is only getting 400 parents per partner program, and you got 12 BAs doing this at 5%, that's the $23,760, that's the annual membership. And if each one of them is generating, or if the total residual income from these partner program customers is $4,608 per month, $4,608 per month times 12 months, that's $55,296 per year, plus the 23. Now you're looking at $79,056. Guys, show me one business anywhere, where you can only have 12 people in your organization who only get one partner program, and you're making $80,000, almost $80,000 a year. I mean, that's phenomenal. But this isn't everything. We've now got to look and see what the residual income is off of this. You've got 12 BAs, because remember, they're getting their own personal customers. We're assuming they're averaging 30 VIP customers every single month. That's 360 per month, because 12 times 30 is 360, times the $99 times 5%, that's $1,780 per month. You've got the 30 VIPs times 99 times 25%. These are your personal customers, okay? That's $1,340, $250 per month. Well, 360 VIPs, if they're spending on average $240, this is their total expenditure in the mall every month. And the minimum, or the average free cash back is 8% times your 5%. That's $345.66 per month. Plus, you've got 90 VIPs on your front line now, because you've done this 3 months, okay? You got 30 the first month, 30 the second month, 30 the third month. That's 90 VIPs times 240 times 8%. Remember, these are your personal customers. You earn 25% commission on their expenditures, or their free cash back. So that's $432 per month. That's a total monthly income from all the personal customers that the 12 BAs are getting plus yours. So that's $3,902 and 10 cents per month. $3,900 per month. Times 12, that's another $46,825. That's $125,881.20. Now, this is actually underreported, because if you remember, these 12 BAs, I assume they only did this 1 month. They actually did this 2 months. The first 9 of them, the first 3 did it a second time, and every month past this, they're all going to keep doing this. So, but the other thing you got to remember, I'm assuming there's no viral growth whatsoever. I'm assuming, number one, that the high schools don't refer any other high schools to you, because here's the deal with the partner program at DubLi. If you have a high school that refers another high school, that high school that referred them is going to receive a 5% override on everything that the other high school does. Now, we just did a high school about 3 weeks ago up in Belfry, Kentucky. They've already got a list of 120 high schools they're going to refer to us. 120. And it just so happens that the coach there, who we did this with, is the winningest coach in high school history in the state of Kentucky. And so people listen to him. He carries a lot of weight in that state. And when we showed it to him, what was his typical, and guys, this is the typical reaction I'm getting from every nonprofit I talk to. When we finished presenting this to him, the guy that knew him was in the room with him, and I was in Atlanta doing a webcast just like I am with you guys. And at the end of it, Mark, who was up in his office with me, said, well, Coach, excuse me, said, do you have any concerns or any questions about DubLi? And the coach says, no. He said, boys, I got to tell you something. He said, I've been here for a long time, and he'd been coaching for about 35 years now, I think. He said, you better believe I've seen every money-making opportunity come through that door, trying to get me to do fundraisers with them. He said, but I ain't never seen nothing like this. I mean, those were his exact words. I ain't never seen nothing like this. He said, we need to move on this, and we need to move on it now. And he said, I just got one question. I keep forgetting to tell you all this. He said, I got one question. Do we get a commission on the membership fee, the $99? And we said, yes, you do. How much? 30%. He said, I like that. That was what he said. Now, he's already put together a list of other high schools. We believe that before it's all said and done, he's probably going to bring 300 or 400 high schools to us. Now, you can imagine the kind of money that's going to mean to us as we build this out. And the bottom line is, we're out there now while nobody knows about this. I mean, they've never heard of DubLi. They've never seen anything like this. And I've done probably 15 high schools. Of course, the Red Cross, we're about to do another big organization next Thursday up in Chattanooga. And I've not had anybody say no to the partner program. Not to me, but the partner program. Because it's not about me. It's about them, and it's about the partner program and what it offers to their organization. And not one organization has said no to this yet. Now, somebody's going to come along and be a dummy and say no to me, I'm sure, for whatever reason. But one other thing that I need to show you on this slide right here, that's $125,881 per year off of everybody getting one partner program and averaging 30 VIP customers a month, and we're assuming there's no viral growth whatsoever, either on the part of the organizations or the customers. Well, one thing I left out on here really is you've got to get your own personal partner program. Add that in there. If you add that into it, the total income is a total, not 125 plus 145. Your total income from all of this is $145,000 a year. And you've only got you only have 12 BAs in your organization. Now remember, if you were to sponsor another 40 or 50, maybe 60 people on your front line as a sales director, you're going to earn a 15% override on all of their customers that they generate. That's 3 times as much money as you are generating off the customers over here. And again, the backbone of your success, it's the VIP customer. Again, how do you do it? All you do is you start building your story by utilizing the VIP membership. It's that simple. I mean, this business is that easy. It's not about selling anything. It's not about worrying about your family or your friends trying to run from you every time they see you come in because they think you're trying to sell them something again. It's about them smiling every time they see you because you're putting money in their pocket. That's what this is all about. And I'm telling you, DubLi, without question, is the ideal fundraiser. Nobody's seen anything like this. I mean, everybody's like, they're just blown away with this. Well, what do you do next? What's your next step? You've got to become a DubLi BA. And I'm telling you, if you can afford it, you should absolutely become a TLA. If you can't afford it, then you've got to make that decision. We understand that. You got to do what's best for you. But if you can afford it, absolutely become a TLA because that allows you to start at a higher rank. It allows you to immediately start going after partner programs. You got to take your certification, but you've already paid for it. And people will do what you do, not what you say. So you're going to sign up as a VIP customer immediately. You're going to start building your story because you're losing money. Somebody just walked in and scared the dickens out of me. I'm sorry. You're losing money by not using DubLi. You can become a regular BA team member with a $499 package if you want to. But what I really encourage people to do, if there's any way possible to do it, this is the way to do it. You'll get your money back that much faster, and it's going to allow you to build it so much faster, and it's going to allow you to go after the nonprofits. So get with the person that invited you on the webcast and get started today. You're in the right place at the right time. Now, y'all have always heard that, but y'all know who Ray Kroc is? Ray Kroc bought McDonald's from the McDonald's brothers. And, I don't know if y'all know this, but in 1961, Ray Kroc bought McDonald's from the McDonald's brothers for $2.8 million. $2.8 million. Ray Kroc made McDonald's what it is today. Today, now he's dead now, but today McDonald's has a market cap of over $90 billion. Now, he was given a speech at Stanford University shortly before he died. And in his speech, here's what he said. Now, this is one of the most successful people in American history. He said the two most important things in any successful business was, number one, you had to be in the right place at the right time. And number two, you had to recognize it. My question to everybody on the call is, do you recognize it? And if you do, what are you going to do about it? Because it's not going to happen unless you get out and work really hard. So start building your story now with the VIP membership. Show your cash organizer. That is the key to success with this business. And the only other thing you got to do after that is just start inviting people to webinars. Now listen, if you're not comfortable with the idea of giving a presentation to a partner program, get with somebody in your upline. They'll do it for you. I mean, it's nothing for me to do it now because I've done so many of them. And you know what? The key to it is not about trying to show off DubLi or show off your knowledge or your speaking skills or any of that nonsense. The whole key to it is establishing with them the fact that all of their members, all their parents, all their donors, all these people that have an affinity towards their organization, whatever it happens to be, is the fact that they're all consumers at the bottom line. They all spend money every day. They all buy stuff online. And then you go from there and you establish the fact that, or you establish the value to the consumer, and they can't deny it. They cannot not see it. It's just obviously, it just glares out at you. Well, guys, listen, thanks for being on the call. I'll put this up on Do A to Z here today because I'm not going to worry about editing it anymore. I've spent too much time worrying about editing webcasts I do. But here's what I would encourage you to do. Get back with the person, advise you on the call. Get started today. Become a VIP customer immediately and start utilizing the site. You're going to be amazed at how much cash back it is on some of the things. I mean, it goes all the way from 0.5 or 0.7 all the way up to 75% on the free cash back. Plus, if you're a premium, you get an extra 4% cash back on top of that, but you can't collect it to the end of the year. Also, you will get your VIP, your DubLi MasterCard debit card for free, but you got to wait 90 days if you're a premium customer. If you're a VIP customer, you get the additional 6% cash back in addition to the free, but you get your free MasterCard debit card from DubLi immediately. And that's one of the things you use to build your business. Because when people see it, what is that? They opened up the door, you show it to them. Then you just pull out your desktop, your laptop or your touchpad or your smartphone, show me back office. End of story, it's done. It's that simple, guys. Have a great day. Thanks for being on the call, and I'll hope to see you. Now, one thing I've got to announce.